I wasn't sure what to expect if you were going to be in normal or you're going to be in like your
Right.
demon face paint. Yeah, exactly. Please don't possess me.
Yeah.
Uh, Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watch Our Past. Today I'm talking to Stefanie Estes, the star of Wild and Wicked, which is coming to digital and on demand on June 11, 2024. I'm going to talk to her right now, and while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll spend a lot. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining me today. I've got Stefanie Estes, the star of Wild and Wicked, which is coming to digital and on demand on June 11, 2024. It is this interesting, fresh mix of like part fairy tale, part horror movie, part family drama that all merges together into this wonderful, slow build, unsettling film. I really loved it. I'm very excited to talk to you. So thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. So, first question, how did you get involved in this movie? How did this come across your desk?
Um, I auditioned. So my manager sent me an email with all the information, and as fate would have it, I had actually worked with one of the producers a few years prior on a short film. And had a wonderful experience, Powell, with him. And so I was really pumped to get to audition for this, just because I knew that it was going to be pretty high caliber, because he has like fantastic taste. And then once I met Gordon and read the entirety of the script, because sometimes when you audition for something, you just get a couple of scenes to work with. But once I read the whole of the script, just to piggyback on what you said, I was like, oh, damn, this is a horror thriller. This is a fantasy. This is a family drama. I can't, I hope I get to have the opportunity to be a part of it. So I was really excited when it all worked out.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I do love that you kind of like trusted the producer that you knew because I was gonna ask, like, this is Gordon's first feature film. So like, was that I assume that it was a great experience because the film is fantastic, but what was it like working with him on his first feature? It sounds like you clicked pretty quickly.
Well, Gordon's fantastic, and he's come from a great cinema background. He is well trained in cinema studies, and has made quite a few short films. So he knows what he's doing technically, and so I wasn't that nervous in terms of working with him on his first feature. In fact, I find that quite exciting because you're getting to work with some, like, that's so great. Like, it's his first feature and I get to be a part of it. And I found him to be just so wonderfully collaborative, not only like collaborative in that, like, he definitely had points of view about the character, but was really open to having conversations and us working together to find um, the most resonant version of Sylvia.
Mhm.
And he was just so knowledgeable also about the historical elements of this film, and brought so much to the table. Like, they shot it at his family's farm. He was fantastic. So knowledgeable and such a joy to work with.
That's awesome. Actually, ironic, or like, I don't know, ironically or coincidentally, I guess, I just talked to someone yesterday who was also in someone's first feature film, and they said basically the same thing. They're like, it was really great because they're more collaborative, and also like this is their baby. Like they have been
Yes.
like building this for a long time, so they really, really care, and they kind of like do everything they can to make this perfect.
Yeah, really, really care, and like, just I don't know, like, we're all, this is this business, being an artist in this business, it's a long road. And so getting to be the part of someone's first big step on their journey is super exciting to me.
Yeah, for sure. And you can like help them on that way, and also like I don't know, mold them or at least help guide them if they can use any of your guidance. So that must be fun
Yeah,
also.
or like, hopefully, they'll also extend the hand back to you, because like it's all about working together and like going on the journey together. So what goes around comes around.
Yeah, exactly. So you said you auditioned for this. I'm just curious, when you auditioned, because you kind of had two characters in this movie. Did you audition as the mother, or did you audition as the like dark mother? Did you do both? Like, did you have
Oh,
to?
yeah, both, if I remember correctly. There was like a very lovely bedtime scene that I auditioned with where I was interacting with my daughter. Um, and then I think it was like, yeah, one of the later scenes in the film where I was like, yeah, demonic. And I remember going into it being like, I hadn't read the whole script, so I'm like, I don't totally know what is happening, but I'm gonna go for something. guess I guess it worked.
I don't know if you are a mother, but it probably is very easy if you've had children to pull out a demonic version of yourself. It just kind of like naturally comes through.
I'm not a mother, but I'm friends with many mothers, and I'm sure that that version exists in all of them.
Yes, yes. It's usually around 10 o'clock when you're trying to get some stuff done and your kids haven't
Yeah,
gone to bed. And yes,
yeah.
it just happens, you know. You become wild-eyed and wicked.
And wild-eyed and wicked.
So I was curious, did you play the entity like throughout, like in even the scenes where you weren't like in, you know, the mother outfit, or was that
Oh,
someone else that played?
I believe they did have a body double for some of the other scares in the movie, like in the barn. That's
Mhm.
not me. And then I think it's in the house where you see it's
Yeah,
like
the clothing outline, yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Well, so I'm glad you didn't have to take on too many roles. That's perfect.
Yeah, I know.
Um, but one of the things I did love, especially about your character had the most of it. This film seemed to have, you know, all practical effects. I mean, there's a little bit of CG here and there, but like it seemed like the majority was practical effects. What was it like, you know, having ripped skin and getting into that makeup? What was that like?
So fun. So fun. That's one of my favorite things about doing horror films are getting to do wild and wicked things like that. And I have to commend the makeup and special effects team. Yeah, they did a phenomenal job. And also I think creating a progression of this, I guess for lack of a better word, demonic Sylvia, right? Like
Mhm.
you start with the scratches on the face, and then like it evolves into a much more fully demonic entity. Yeah, it was great. I had a great time. The only thing that was a little tricky was um I remember I had long nails and I was doing a bit of my own fighting. So fighting a nail is hard. Anything nails is hard. I'm like, I don't have them in life. And so to have ones that were like claws, I was like, I can't grab anything. I can't. Ugh. But again, we had a great fight choreographer, and Gordon was phenomenal in working through those little technical nuances that perhaps we didn't anticipate.
Yeah, for sure. And that's another hallmark of indie films. You don't have as many people to do things. So it's amazing that you like went and did your own fighting, your own stunts.
That was so fun. It like Julia Hopkins, our stunt coordinator, was so knowledgeable and so patient, um, and choreographed our fights to a T, and was on set with us. Which we shot those scenes in overnight, so she was right there with us at 4 a.m.
Mhm.
Making sure that we were safe and that we were still being believable.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, you mentioned the fear with your nails. I imagine that's extra scary when you're going up against armor because that doesn't seem like that seems like a very dangerous thing for nails.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thankfully, I don't know how we attached them to my we didn't actually attach them to my nail bed, which was wonderful. So when they fell off, it was just like I don't know. I don't remember how we attached them, but it wasn't painful when they fell off, which was good. But they did, and I think
Yeah,
we lost a couple of them. It's all coming back to me. We're like, we gotta find a nail. Where's the nail? Look for the nail.
they're all part of Gordon's family farm now. They'll just be out
Right.
there. Someone's gonna go there in like 30 years
I
and be
know.
like,
I'm like,
what happened here?
what is this?
This is just his own horror movie. It's a new one. Um, and how long did it take to get into that makeup? Because it was fairly extensive.
Yeah, that's a good question. A couple hours, I would say. I mean, when you are doing indie film, you're working as fast as possible. But yeah, I mean, they had to do my hands, my face. I think it was probably at least 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I don't I don't really remember. But it
Yeah,
was fun.
that's probably
Yeah.
good that you don't remember. I love seeing the like time lapses when that happens, when they like show
Oh,
all the
I
makeup going on. You're like, that looks amazing. I would not want to sit there for that long,
yeah,
but it looks, the process looks fantastic.
yeah. Oh, we should have done a time lapse. I hadn't thought about that. Um, yeah, I think it was around 2 hours, but it wasn't bad.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
And one other thing I was wondering, this film is a horror film. You have several scenes, several unsettling scenes with the young Lily, who's played by Evan. What was it like working with her? I know it's always, interesting doing horror with kids because you're trying to like shield them, but they kind of need to be involved in the scenes. What was it like working with her?
Oh, yeah, Evan was wonderful, and she actually really loved horror. Like she was like, oh,
Raising them right.
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I was talking about this earlier. I love working with kids because they're so unfiltered, in a way that as an adult, perhaps you lose a little bit. And I think, um, with acting, you're trying to genuinely be in the moment. And I think Evan reminded me of like leaning into that spontaneity. And yeah, it was an absolute pleasure to work with her. And in terms of the horror element, she handled it like a champ. Like nothing phased her. She was like, I want to do it again. Like let's make it. Um, so yeah, she was great. She was
That's
great.
that's awesome. I love that she loved horror. This was like her
Ah,
dream come true at that age. That's
yes.
amazing.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
And I'm just curious, like how much time did you actually get to spend, with the cast on the set? Were you there for the whole filming? I know that that can sometimes be difficult with schedules, and especially if your character, you don't have like a role
Yeah.
throughout.
Yeah, I think I had like a chunk of days at the front half of the shoot, where we did mostly the flashback stuff and the initial incident in the beginning, we'll call it. And then I had a break, and then we shot all of the woods sequences towards the end of the shoot. So I missed the middle chunk, but was there for the beginning and the end.
Perfect. And it kind of like naturally is a nice break because you have,
Yeah.
you damaged you and then
Yeah,
super demonic you.
exactly.
So I know that that doesn't sound like a ton of time. This is a horror movie. It takes place. I love the kind of like unsettling things that happen throughout the film. Anything unsettling happen on set that wasn't planned?
Um, no, although Elizabeth, one of the producers of the movie, told me like some real life ghost experiences that she had on the farm where we were filming. Um, I didn't personally experience anything supernatural, but hearing those stories and being in a place which is like just so loaded with history, you can't help but be like, oh yeah, that could happen. Oh yeah, there are ghosts here. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure. I mean, I love it. It was such an interesting like duality with that place because you had some scenes where she's out in the woods and it's just beautiful and like picturesque and dreamlike, and then you have other scenes where she's out in the woods and it is the exact opposite. It is like
Yeah,
nightmarish and it's the
yeah,
same place. I loved
yeah.
how the film used that.
I did too. I did too. Yeah, good point with that. I hadn't thought to mention that, but they do a fantastic job of like juxtaposing, um, yeah, the beautiful with the terrifying.
Yeah. And how much time, so you spent, it seems like most of your time was spent with either Evan or Molly. How much time do you get to spend with Molly? I don't know. Did you really even need to establish a rapport with her since it seems like a very antagonistic relationship that you all have?
Well, I think we did establish a rapport, and sometimes when you are antagonists on screen, it's important to like not be antagonistic towards each other off screen.
Not method acting.
Yeah, yeah, and I think she and I have some pretty intense physical fighting that we do towards the end. So just having a trust in the other person is essential, and yeah, like a quick rapport, because also with independent film you are shooting fast, so being able to communicate and with shorthand is pretty essential, and we were
Yeah,
able to do, which is
for
great.
sure. So I know we have limited time. I'm going to switch to a lightning round. They're just lightweight questions about the film. I want to see how your personal experiences map to things in the movie. You can feel free to skip any of them. I won't be offended, but I try to keep them very
Okay.
answerable. First,
Okay.
first question. Have you ever fenced?
No.
Okay. You didn't try while during the film?
No, the fencing scenes, I was actually on set getting uh I was practicing fight choreography. So all the fencing scenes were happening over in this like field over here. And like over here, I was working with Julia on like ducking, kicking, grabbing. So I would love to do a little bit of fencing, but yeah, I was really trying to get those like that demonic fighting down.
Yeah, you were like the practical fighting. She was
That's
doing
what
the
I used.
flowy fighting.
Yeah, she had to use a sword. I used my hands.
Awesome. Have you ever worn armor? It doesn't have to be medieval armor, just like body armor or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I would say baseball you wear armor as a catcher, right? You
Oh, yeah,
wear like so
that
I
tracks.
yeah, I played baseball as a kid and was a catcher. So I wore the and the thing and the knee pads.
Perfect, perfect. And that was probably just as dangerous as fighting Molly in armor with like disposable nails.
Yes.
Next question. Do you believe in demons?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's an interesting question. And I said, yeah, because I think demons, like the word demon, it can mean a lot of things. Like we have personal demons, which aren't necessarily like a monster waiting for us in the woods. Um, but then, who's to say it isn't also a monster in the woods? I don't know.
Yeah, it does. It does sometimes seems like when it rains, it pours, and
Yeah,
it does seem like sometimes everything is out to get you. So
yeah,
who's to
totally.
say, right?
Who's to say?
Next question. Did you take history in college?
Did I take history in college? Yes, but I got my BFA, so it was a lot of theater history.
That's still history. It's a type of
History?
history.
It's all history.
Yeah. Um, have you ever gone bird watching?
Yes, I have. Oh my gosh, yeah, good. I was like, bird watching. What does that have to do with the moving? But it does. She has the bird calls on her. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have it near me, but I have like a little bird guide in this room. Because you can't see it, but I have some windows here, and I will sometimes like try and pinpoint the birds that I see.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you ever listen to their calls to see if you can recognize them that way as well?
No, I'm not that advanced.
Okay. That's for the sequel. That's the
Exactly.
sequel. You'll get that skill set. Very opposite type of question. Have you ever had night terrors?
No.
That's good. That
Yeah,
is
you're like,
very
good
good.
for you. Good for you. I'm happy for you,
Yeah.
Stephanie.
I mean, yeah, like it seems like a horrible experience to just wake up screaming and or scratching. That doesn't sound like fun at all.
Yeah, I know.
Especially when you've got those insane nails. That would be
I
extra
know.
dangerous.
That would be, yeah, incredibly dangerous.
Have you ever felt like you or your family was cursed?
No.
Also,
Oh,
good answer. Good answer.
you have bad. I don't think it like sometimes I feel like I'm cursed. Like you said, when it rains, it pours. I'll have one of those bad days where it's not like terribly dramatic things are happening, but I'm like stuck in traffic and my phone died. Like, what did I do what curse was put on me?
Yeah, I think we all have those days. So, and again, back to demons. Who knows, right? Who's to
Who
say?
knows? Who knows?
All right. So, and the very last question. What was the last time you were out in the woods at night?
When we were shooting this movie, I don't
Good answer.
at night, out in the woods at night. Um, yeah, when we were shooting this movie, I think.
Well, that's a good answer. That's a good time to be out in the woods at night. So,
Yeah,
there
when
you
you're
go.
surrounded by a film crew that can protect you.
Yeah. But they have to protect you from the ghosts. So,
Exactly. And there were ghosts on that farm. I've heard tell.
yeah,
And
after seeing the film, I'm pretty sure there were.
I
So you can check out those ghosts. You can see Stephanie as both a loving mother and a demonic entity in Wild-Eyed and Wicked. It's coming to digital and on demand on June 11th, 2024. It's a fantastic film. Stephanie does an amazing job in it. So definitely check it out. And thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was so fun talking with you.
Of course. Thank you so much. This is fun.
Bye.
That was Stefanie Estes, the star of Wild-Eyed and Wicked, which is coming to digital and on demand on June 11th, 2024. It is an interesting, fresh mix of like a little bit fairy tale, a little bit horror, a little bit family drama, all bubbling together into this fresh and unsettling movie. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.